Join me right now is LFA lightweight contender Aaron McKenzie. Aaron, how you doing?
Doing great, sir. How about yourself?
Good, man. I gotta ask you about the hat, man. Tell me the story behind that.
Oh man, I like to keep the sun out of my eyes a little bit. I don't like
Uh,
sunglasses all that much, and so this works out just as well.
for sure. How is the weather out there? In
It's been pretty good, but we're starting to get our thunderstorm weather right now. It's getting into tornado season, so it's supposed to have a little hail and storms tonight.
Wow, like you must experience like all kinds of wild weather out there, right? Especially with tornadoes, because tornadoes are only in that part of the world, basically.
Yeah, it's crazy how it works out, and it actually seems like they're starting to shift more and more towards our east. So
Mhm.
it's been a little bit better the last few seasons, but like a year and a half ago, I think one went right over our house. It was really crazy.
Oh, is that the closest it's ever been? Do you have any other wild stories of tornadoes?
Nothing too bad. We missed all the big ones that have come through, but like we've had some of the biggest tornadoes in the world ever come right, within 10 miles of our house. My mom actually moved into the neighborhood that one got ran through 15 years ago. She moved into that neighborhood.
Jesus, that's scary stuff, man. You always see those TV shows of the tornado hunters or the people that chase them, and you're just thinking like, why would you put yourself in that danger? But it is what it is, right? Now,
It's definitely tough.
yeah. Now with you, 2020, man, you competed 3 times. It was a good year, man, for you because other people didn't get to compete one time. So in retrospect, what was last year like for you?
It was amazing, honestly. I've had just a struggle finding fights my entire time as a professional. So I've gotten 2 fights a year pretty much consistently. And then last year, I lost the split early, right before COVID. And my goal was to just get back in as soon as I possibly could to try and get that win back. So as soon as LFA started doing shows again, like we were on the phone with them, just waiting to get in there. And then it was just fight as much as possible and as often as I could. And I was really excited to be able to get 2 wins with them last year.
Before you headed to LFA, you were fighting for Bellator. What happened with the situation with Bellator? Because I felt like you should have kept fighting for them. You know what I mean? It's a good promotion.
Yeah, no, Bellator is great, and I'd absolutely fight for him again. But honestly, my end game has always been UFC. I want to make it to the UFC. I want to get that stamp on my name. I want to prove that I belong. So uh, I wasn't able to get a fight with Bellator once they were coming back from COVID. LFA had a great offer for me, and so I took it, and here we are.
Yeah, going back to the fight with Bellator, Chris Gonzalez, it was a split decision. Could have went either way. What was the biggest takeaways from that? Because what I mean, you've won 2 fights after that, so something must have clicked.
Yes, sir. The biggest takeaway for me was don't ever be on your back, ever. I felt like I was winning the rounds on the feet, and then I put myself on bottom once or twice because I thought my jiu-jitsu would be better and I'd be in a good spot to find finishes and not get taken down. But he ended up doing a really good job controlling and just nullifying me on the bottom. So I put myself in position to lose 2 rounds just at the end of the round and be on bottom. So I've spent all last year working on wrestling, wall work, takedown defense, just so I'm never going to be in that position again.
For sure. Well, back to back wins now. You're riding high. You're heading into this main event slot on April 16th, LFA 104. Brandon Phillips, tell me about him, what you know about him.
Man, the dude is tough as nails, 100%. The only people he's lost to have been tough dudes. He lost to Bryce Mitchell, AJ McKee. So just, big names for both of their promotions. He's absolutely amazing on the feet. Great stand-up fighter, great getting up off of his back. He's going to be tough to put away for sure. But that's what I like to do. I like to go out, put on exciting fights, and get finishes. So that's everything I'm going to be aiming to do is just to put him in bad spots and see if I can't find my offense and get a good victory and a finish.
From the outside looking in, people are going to be like, oh, this is a striker versus a grappler. Do you feel like is that a fair assessment of the matchup?
Probably a little bit, but I don't think a lot of people know. Like my striking is pretty good. I've come a long way the last couple of years working with Stephen Wright. Work with Chaz Mulkey now as well in Oklahoma. He's amazing, and he's been a huge benefit to my game just seeing that level because he was a WBC Muay Thai champ. So just having that level in my camp with me to push me and help me get better has been something that's been amazing. Couldn't thank him more for that.
A guy that has a well-established ground game and then developing the striking, I feel it's more advantageous compared to a striker that's learning grappling. Do you feel the same way?
I think so. I think it could be really good for me that way.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, it's great. Now, splitting your training camp, I know there's a lot of protocols and everywhere it's different. For you, how has it been?
Not too bad. Yeah. Texas is just right down the road, so it's about a 3 hour trip for me to get to my striking gym. Um, I go as often as I can when I'm in camp, and we've all done really good with the protocols and making sure that masks are worn at all times when we're not training. We kept the groups small and all that. And there was a few months where there was hardly anything going on. It was just like with everybody where you couldn't train unless it was like two of you and you're hiding out in the garage doing stuff. So it's been great just having the capability and the ability for the places to open back up to get back to full time stuff.
Have you had a good amount of time, to prepare for this fight?
Absolutely. We knew that we would be fighting as soon as they started coming back to Oklahoma. They told us about it pretty early. We weren't able to get in on the first set of shows because we both, I think Professor Raphael had some contractual obligations. He had other stuff to do that month. And I liked a little bit extra time just to make sure that I was ready. So as soon as they were coming back to Oklahoma, we knew that we were going to be able to get on. So I've had a super solid camp. My last two fights were both 3 weeks notice. So I was ready for
Yeah.
that, but the extra time has been very nice.
Being a student of Lovato, the guy is, he's a wealth of knowledge, number one, but then he's also an inspiration. You know what I mean? Like, not many guys are like that bring that combination as a coach. Man, how has it been for you?
It's been spectacular because, like you said, he just has so much knowledge. He's been doing this forever now, like, and he's been at the highest levels. So like 15 years ago, he won his first ski world title. That's spectacular. Just having that high level training and high level teaching available to me. He's switched over to MMA and been as successful at a high level there. So he's done it all, Nogi titles, been a medaler at ADCC. He's won the Bellator championship. Having all of that knowledge for him to just share with me and help put me in the right spots has been completely beneficial.
With your striking and your development, where do you feel like you've developed most in the last, let's say, 6 months or so?
The last 6 months has been spectacular development on the wall and takedown offense and defense. Along with setting up my offense, I've been having to find more and more setups for offense just because when you're sparring with high level guys, they've seen everything, right? So your hook low kick game isn't going to work so well. You're going to have to figure out new ways to score. So just having that ability to try and figure out new ways has been huge as well.
Phillips, I believe he hasn't competed in MMA since 2018. Do you feel like this is going to be a huge factor in this fight coming up?
It could be, but he did compete in kickboxing tournaments,
Okay.
and those one night tournaments aren't easy. So if you're ready for a one night kickboxing tournament, I think you're going to be ready for just about anything. And he was supposed to compete in an MMA fight in November. And I think he ended up missing weight. So that's why he's moving up. He missed weight against Varga and he didn't get to fight. So he was supposed to fight in November. So he was definitely getting ready for a fight.
For sure. Now, how do you see this fight playing out?
Just like every fight, I want to go out, I want to come forward, see if I can't beat him up a little bit, wear him out, and then find the finish, whether it be on the feet, on the ground. I don't care. I kind of let the fight come to me. I let it flow, and just see what's the most comfortable at the time. If I'm beating him up on the feet, I might just stick it out there. If maybe I get an easy takedown, I'll find the takedown and I'll find my offense there. Kind of just like to let fights come to me. I don't go out with just the biggest game plan in the world like some people, but I definitely have stuff I've been working specifically for this fight.
For sure. Multiple paths to victory. That's what you see.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, with the win, do you see yourself at the doorstep of a title shot, or opportunity at the title, or are you looking elsewhere?
I'm never looking elsewhere. First thing I want to go beat him next weekend, and then I'll take whatever the best opportunity is available for me. You never like to be like, oh man, I got to be in the UFC after this. I've done enough, because you've never done enough until they say you have. So I want to keep focusing on getting better. And when that great opportunity comes, I'll be ready for it. If it's the title, then I'll go win that title. If it's UFC, hopefully I'll go out and make a great impression in my debut, make Dana and Shelby and all those guys a lot of money, and see if they won't keep me around.
With the state of the world and the state of MMA and these larger promotions putting on shows continuously, does it put, I don't know if it puts pressure on you, but do you feel like in your mind you have to be very close to weight all the time just in case, you get a call from someone with a huge, because you could fill in anywhere?
Absolutely. It's very important. I used to be huge. I used to walk around anywhere over 190 to 200 pounds all the time. And then as I got more mature in my fighting career, I realized like you can't be that big. Like a 40-pound weight drop every fight camp is not beneficial for your body. Makes taking the short notice fights a lot harder. So I kind of changed my body up to where I walk around most of the time around 180. Sometimes I get a couple pounds bigger, but I stick around 180. And so from 180, I can usually make weight in 3 weeks. If I'm at 175 walking around, I can make weight in 2 weeks or less easy. So it's definitely something that you got to be ready for, especially like you said in this COVID era. There was a fight in December where I got a text Wednesday morning, and they were like, "Hey, what do you weigh right now? What can you weigh Friday morning?" And so it was 176, and I could get 160 pretty easy. So I thought that was going to be the one. They ended up giving it to somebody on roster that made the same weight. But you definitely got to be ready for that opportunity.
Yeah, man, just get your name out there and then that's it. Everything will take care of itself. April 16th, LFA 104, Oklahoma. So you don't have to go that far, right? It's down
Yeah,
the road.
30
How
minutes
far is
down
the
the road.
drive? How's it?
It's 30 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, God, it's nothing. So good luck to you, Aaron, and all the best, man, for this year.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me on, sir.